Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Dena Putri Padanita. Here would like to share with you about CDA. I'm sure that most of you ever took this course, and here I just want to recall your prior knowledge about CDA itself. What is CDA exactly? CDA, abbreviation from critical discourse and analysis. As we know that what is critical? Critical asks about who, what, where, why, when, and how something happened. And discourse, the language used, for example, interviews, spoken discourse, and newspaper articles written discourse. Discourse means not only about oral, but also in written text. And then for analysis is a method or procedure to analyze the discourse or to make a critical in a discourse itself. So we can say that it is a transdisciplinary approach to discourse, drawing on social as well as a linguistic theory. And there are some issues in CDA. The first one is power, the second one is hegemony, and the third one is identity. Alright, what is power means? Power, here the concern as a domination links CDA to struggles against inequality and power abuse, and to the demystification in language of mechanism of inculcation and control. So in CDA, we will identify which one is powerful, which one is powerless in social context. And then hegemony. Hegemony is leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. And then the last one, identity. Identity means the qualities, beliefs, personality, looks, and or even expression that make a person or group as preeminent. So a whole package in CDA itself will discover about the dominance, the power, and then the hegemony, which we will analyze the gap between them, something like that. And why CDA? Why we should use CDA? It is to uncover something hidden and to bring social change, or at least supporting struggle against inequality. So the function in CDA itself is to discover inequality in the social context. And then how to apply CDA? Some major components become the foundation to do this analysis. They are Fairclough, Bodek, Van Dyke, Rees, and Van Leer. So yes, they are some pioneers in this field, in CDA field. Of course, we can use one of their frameworks to analyze about this course itself. Alright, after we know about the concept of CDA, let's take a look deeper about some theories related with some experts, some pioneers. The first one is Van Dyke. Critical discourse analysis, according to Van Dyke, it's more socio-cognitive approach. So the focus in this approach is like in social context, related to social condition in the society. Then Van Dyke is one of the leading figures and pioneers of study and research in domain of CDA, as we know, yes. And then he stated that CDA focuses on how a social group's mental representation is influenced by social structure. In this occasion, the theme of a discussion may influence how people emphasize the important information in a text or talk. And CDA is characterized as an interdisciplinary multi-methodical approach rather than an isolated discipline on its own. CDA should have historical, cultural, social, economical, philosophical, logical, neurological approaches as well. So it is a whole package of social life, not only one part of life or just two part of life, but it is a whole package of someone's life. And then the ultimate goal of critical discourse analysis is to help the deprived part of the society and the issues that threaten these people's life. In other words, CDA goes beyond here and now and attempts to study the roots of fundamental social problems. All the approaches to CDA have to the notion of ideology, critique, and power dynamic. The theories proposed by Van Dyke presents in a variety of social theories and models used in CDA, which enlist the various ideological notions. Alright, let's move on to the next. The next is Fairclough's model of CDA. Here, Fairclough contributes to social and cultural analysis. Therefore, he focuses the analysis on how the language forms and is formed from social relation and a certain social context. And here there are some dimensions of this course. There are three parts of it. The first one is micro level, the second one is meso, and the third one is macro level. You can see in the slide for the specific explanation about that and the scope of each context. In the micro level, you can analyze the text itself, like the lexical classification, the transitivity, the transformation. Yes, of course, you can analyze a whole of text there. And then the second one is a meso level. You can analyze the intertextuality, such as news source, reporting mode, reporting verb, and something like that. And then the last one is macro level. You can analyze the social cultural practice, such as political, cultural, and economical context. So yes, in the micro level, it is only about the text. You can analyze the linguistic features, and for the meso level, it is more broad than the first one. It is like how the text is sourced, the news source, reporting mode, and something like that. And then the last one is more broader than the two previous one. It is like political, cultural, and economic context, which make an effect to the course or to the discourse itself, something like that. And then let's move to Van Leeuwen model of CDA. Here, Van Leeuwen revealed that language is a reflection of ideology, so that by learning the language reflected in the text, ideology can be exposed. So yes, Van Leeuwen more emphasize the ideology in CDA in his framework. CDA model seeks to detect and examine how a group or a person is marginalized in the discourse. This model generally shows how the parties and actors are presented in the news, and there are two centers of attention. The first one is exclusion, and the second one is inclusion. Exclusion means the actors displayed or omitted in the news text, and then inclusion is how the actor displayed and how it portrayed in the news. That's the difference of that. And then for the exclusion is divided into passivization or nominalization and substitution of clauses, and for the inclusion process is divided into indifferentiation until differentiation, objectivation, abstraction, nomination, categorization, determination, indetermination, assimilation, and individualization. And then for the passivization, there are two kinds of it. The first one is active, the second one is passive. As we know that active, the police finally fired tear gas to disperse the demonstrator. Passive, demonstrators are given tear gas. Yes, of course, it is the kind of text, sentence, when the subject doing something, doing a job, doing a word, it means active. And when the subject is not doing an active verb, it means passive, something like that. And then for nominalization, verba, the policy finally open tear gas showed to disperse the demonstration. Noun 1, the air message demo disband the consequent release of tear gas. Noun 2, the release of tear gas against protesting mass. Noun 3, again the release of tear gas against the masses protesting. So there are some example or some forms related with nominalization itself. And then for differentiation and differentiation, here in differentiation, like uncontrolled situation, mob attack police with stone and water. And then for differentiation, uncontrolled situation, mob attack police with stone and water. The police tried to rebel and tried to calm the crowd, but the crowd became more determined and attacked the officer with wood. That's the example of sentence using differentiation and indifferentiation. And then for the next is the example of objectivity and abstraction. Objectivity, hundreds of workers in Subang, West Java also protest against raising fuel price at the region's office. And for our abstraction, several students were finally secured because they acted anarchically and provoked the masses. And so on, so. You can read the rest of it in the PowerPoint if you want, because in this analysis there will be good if you get it from by yourself to analyze and to know more about that. Alright, and next. Alright, so it will be the last one. It is about Wordx model of CDA. As we know that she is the pioneers also in CDA, and she emphasized the discourse historical approach. And like Fairclough and Van Dyke approaches, Wordx discourse historical approaches views discourse as a form of social practice. Thus, to understand and explain the object under investigation, one needs to integrate diverse theories and methods. She thus contends that study in CDA are multivariate, derived from quite different theoretical backgrounds, oriented towards different data and methodology. And then one important tenet of CDA is that all discourses are historical and can therefore only be understood with reference to their context. This means that discourse is connected synchronically and diachronically with other communicative events which are happening at the same time or which haven't before. For Wadek, the notion of context is crucial for CDA since this explicitly includes social, psychological, political, and ideological components. So then, she stated that identity politics on all levels always entails the integration of past experiences, present events, and future vision in many domains. And then this involves analyzing, understanding, and explaining the relationship between complex historical processes, hegemonic, narrative, and CDA approaches, and for the analysis of the interrelationship between discursive and other social practices and structures, refers to the principle of triangulation. So that we can say Wadek emphasized the historical aspect in her framework of CDA. Thank you.